Each entry will be displayed on screen here. Judges may ask questions them regarding any aspect of their work. Right. I request our technical team to present all the entries. Our very first entry is from Ashish Srivastav, who has reviewed a social comedy drama film called Choda Fere.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Kumar Srivastav. I'm a final year journalism student at OP Jindal Global University. Today, I'm here in front of you to review a Hindi movie titled Chauda Fere, which has been directed by Devanshu Singh. The movie features Vikrant Masse as Sanjay, a family-oriented type Bihari who also happens to love his mother a lot. It also features Kriti Kharbanda as Aditi, an independent working woman and also a bold chutney. The couple fall in love with each other. The couple fall in love with each other during their college days, where Aditi is Sanjay's senior. They now are in a live-in relationship, as portrayed in the movie. The basic plot of the movie revolves around a couple who wishes to get married to each other, but isn't able to do so just like that because of their respective families wanting them to get married to someone within their caste, to preserve the family's honor. The couple doesn't wishes to elope as well, because since their family is nagging them to marry someone, so they thought why not marry each other? This way, we'll build a world of lies, make our family believe that our partner belongs to the same caste as we. So this way, we are preserving their honor, and at the same time, we are marrying each other out of love. Now, moving to the movie's start, or say impact, I would say. So the movie does have a strong start, I would say, but the impact and serious, just fades away as the movie progresses with time. Making a movie on social issues such as dowry, casteism, patriarchy, and honor killing at the same time, while also maintaining the humor, is no cakewalk, and this movie proves exactly why. The weak use of satire in the movie didn't help as well. There's a dialogue towards the end of the movie during the climax, which goes something like this: "Honor तो बची हुई है, तो killing काहे की?" Now the mm, weird thing about this is we are expected to laugh just because the way the dialogue has been said and the dialogue before it. Using lighter notes to talk about grave issues in cinema is a widely accepted phenomenon. But using such light notes to talk about social evils that have taken the life of thousands of innocents, it's just bewildering, I would say. The anticlimactic climax will leave viewers with a lot of what ifs. There's no real change in the heart of any character, be it anyone, be it Sanjay or their parents. The family only agrees to let the marriage happen because the guests have already arrived at the venue. And if they don't let the marriage happen, then the guests will know that the marriage has been cancelled because the partner was from the other caste. So this would further humiliate them and destroy their honor. So they agreed to let their children marry to each other. Mind you, this is not because they have a change of heart for the love of their children. That's not the case because they were ready to kill their children just to save their bloodline from getting impure. They even pulled out guns at their children. Now, moving towards the end of the movie, when such issues are raised in any movie, then it's normal for us to expect it to do justice to them. But unfortunately, this movie failed to do so. Overall, I would say that movie might be nice for an audience who love rom-coms, but not for the ones who love socio-comic category. That's all from my side. Thank you for hearing me so patiently.
Next up, we have is Tia Rena, who has reviewed a beautiful book named as A Love Story by Destiny.
So, good morning everyone. My name is Zia T. Rana. I study in K.R. Mangalam University. I am a BA Journalism and Mass Communication student, second year student actually. So, today I will give you a book review of a love story by Destiny. It's written by Disha Sangni and it's a really beautiful book. I've read recently only, and the author has written her own story how how she had a dream of you know getting her own art gallery, and then how her journey started, and मतलब आगे जाके उसे कैसे किसी से मतलब एक इंसान आता है उसकी लाइफ में, प्यार होता है, and the story is quite simple, crisp, and not like that those fantasy type books. Really sweet and simple, really simple words. um, every group age can read this book, and it is easily understood that what this book wants to tell you, how the story presentation is really good, and not like really boring or really लाइक कि बिल्कुल ही ख़राब है और मतलब बाद में बोरियत छा गई और मुझे आगे पढ़ना ही नहीं है, तो ये ऐसी बुक है नहीं। सो आप इसको कंटिन्यूसली पढ़ने का मन करेगा आपको। सो इट्स एंड द फर्स्ट एंड द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग इज़ दैट दिस कवर is so attractive that you will automatically feel that let's read this book. So this cover is the first thing which attracts the book most, and then its story, its words, really simple, new words काफ़ी सारे हैं, and you can't just say that कि बिल्कुल ही boring है, and काफ़ी स्वीट, काफ़ी सिंपल। तीन लोगों के बीच में ये कहानी घूम रही है, किरण कपूर एंड पायलट किरण कपूर, एंड देन दिस अवनी। In this book, the author gave her name Avni. Basically, the real name is Disha. So, this is all the book is. And in the starting page, the book is dedicated to those who believe in love, miracles, and destiny. Because the author believe in love and miracles and destiny. So, she wrote the first page creates this, that this book is dedicated to those who believe in love and miracle and destiny. She believed in, and her story is totally true. That in this story there is love, there is miracle, and there is destiny. I'm sure you guys will read it, and you will get to know. I'm sure about that. Thank you so much.
Our next participant is Ekamjot Singh, who has reviewed an international book, The Leader Who Had No Title.
Do you want to be a leader in your personal or professional life? Or do you want to be the best in your career and make a lot of fortune? If the answer to these questions is yes, then I have a wonderful book for you. Hello to all, my name is Ekamjot Singh, and today it's my absolute delight that I'm standing here to give a review of my favorite self help book. And the name of the book is The Leader Who Had No Title. And guess what? The book is written by Robin Sharma, one of the best leadership advisors in the world. This book is about leadership. It teaches us really well that what leadership actually is and how we can become great leaders in our life. As the name, The Leader Who Had No Title suggests, the book says that leadership has nothing to do with the title you have, with the job role you have, with the level of authority you have, or the number of juniors you have. But there is only one thing that is required to become a leader, and the thing is, you need to be a human being. Yes, that is the only thing that is required to become a leader. That is, you need to be a human being. Anyone from the janitor to the CEO can be a leader. But that doesn't mean that the CEOs or the board of directors are not required. They are indeed important to take some important decisions in the organization. Here are 3 tips from this self help to become a great leader in your life. Number 1, whatever work you are doing, do it at a level not less than your very best. I repeat, whatever work you are doing in life, do it at a level not less than your very, very best. This will set your hard work as an example for the others. Number 2nd tip, always think positive. Whenever an unfavorable event happens with you, instead of feeling negative and blaming your teammates or your luck, start thinking positive and discuss that how as a team we went wrong and how we can improve our performance, what steps we can take to improve our performance. Number 3, listen. It is a myth that people say the one who speaks the most or speaks the loudest is the leader. No, the real leader is the one who listens the most, and instead of reacting, he or she responds. This is the cover of the book. It has near about 194 pages and it comes in ebook, paperback, and hardcover form. It is available in Hindi, English, and Marathi language. You can buy this book from Amazon, Flipkart, or the similar e-commerce platforms. It is a very beginner-friendly book because the language is very easy. I would give this book 9 stars out of 10. 1 star less because I feel that there are few things which are repetitive. Otherwise, it's a great book. A great book. Pick it up blindly and read with your eyes open. You would thank me later. Thank you.
Next participant we have is Kalpa Jyoti Bhuyan, who has reviewed the film Village Rockstars.
Hi, I am Kalpa Jyoti Bhuya from the Department of Mass Communication and Journalism, Tezpur University, Assam. And for this film review competition, I have selected the Assamese film Village Rockstars directed by Rima Das. The monsoons bring great plight and tragedy to the hills and plains of Assam, a northeastern state of India. Devoured by an unprecedented rise of the river Brahmaputra, people succumb and lose out everything to the deadly waters. Such recurring devastation sets up the context of reckoning in Rima Das's acclaimed feature Village Rockstars. But the movie is not engulfed in the traditional tragedies of life and death, but a heartfelt ode to simplicity, sincerity, and charm. Village Rockstars narrate the story of a young fatherless girl named Dhunu, whose dreams are unbounded by any strings. Fond of music and aspiring to own a real guitar someday to fulfill her dream of forming a little musical band. Life, however, doesn't come easy for Dhunu. The situational impediments are at plenty. A fortuneless life with meager living conditions in a flood-stricken village forces her to rethink about holding on to such expensive and fancy dreams. But her eyes continue to bear the sparkle of hope as the close-up shots of her in the movie affirms. Dhunu, the only girl in a group of free-spirited school-going youngsters, is carefree and is always found in the company of boys. When alone, she is found in the fields and mostly atop trees, which is much against the approval of the women folk of her society. But a patriarchal reasoning grounded in culture is neither an obstacle nor an excuse for Dhunu and her mother, who after her death of her husband alone fulfills the breadwinning responsibilities for her family. It also neither works as a force of resentment for Dhunu, who sources her power from the same nature that took away the tree. Village Rockstars differs from the lot primarily because of its approach and the way it is met. The people are real, the dialogues are colloquial, and the setup very natural. There is barely any conventional dialogue in the film, genuinely rooted in reality, but often at the cost of a few minor technical imperfections. It is also a visually impressive picture. The evocative natural light cinematography even makes a disastrous situation like flood appear beautiful on screen. Rima's style is not a limitation but the very soul and substance of her film. Close to human heart and nature, this is the film we need to watch or rewatch right now.
Next up we have is Mahima Gupta, who has reviewed an award-winning movie Bajirao Mastani.
चीते की चाल और बाज की नज़र और बाजीराव की तलवार पर कभी संदेह नहीं करते, कभी भी मात दे जाती है। जी हाँ दोस्तों, आज मैं आपको बाजीराव मस्तानी के बारे में एक फिल्म रिव्यू देना चाहती हूँ। ये पिक्चर रिलीज़ हुई 18 दिसंबर 2015। कास्ट रणवीर सिंह, दीपिका पादुकोण, प्रियंका चोपड़ा, तन्वी आज़मी, महेश मंजरेकर, राजा मुराद, Aditya Pancholi, Milind Soman, Vaibhav Tatwadi, Zila Khan, and so on. It was directed by very well-known Sanjay Leela Bansali. Its genre, Bollywood romance, action drama, musical. Sanjay Leela Bansali is back with his 12 years old dream he nurtured like a baby titled as Bajirao Mastani, which is a reply to Tollywood's Bahubali. Enthralling from beginning to end. The movie doesn't contain a single boring moment, which is huge plus point for its genre, which can often be cumbersome and boring, and that can be large attributed to the visual graphics. Each and every frames are picture perfect shots. From the very opening credits, you know that you're going to travel into a divine universe, unraveling the 500 years ago history. The sets and art direction are so well crafted, huge, and super grand. Visual poetry on screen. Big thumbs up to the set designers. The costumes, before describing, I would love to salute Anju Modi and Sanjay visions of the past. Yes, they have rendered their imagination into a visual bonanza indeed. Ornamental is the perfect word. Every color that is picked for the costume reflected a mood in addition to visual appeal. Applause. The cinematography is par excellence. The screenplay is multidimensional. It leaves you thirsty to know more. It is soothingly melodious in romantic scenes while explosive in war scenes. The action and the wars are new in Bollywood. First time a movie from Indian has excelled in such scenes and the dialogues are marvelous. Very few films get you hooked up by its dialogues and Bajirao Mastani is one of them. There are many lines you will take home. The Gurur, one is pure cinematic and the Cheete Ki Chal is beautifully written and used cleverly. As for the music, the album has 10 tracks. The album is beautifully blend of a Marathi folk and Persian Muslim influences. So technically, the film is far superior than any Hindi movie I've seen in the last decade or so. I will just say that it is surely a love triangle, but one with a big difference. Thank you.
The next participant we have is Neha Shah, who has reviewed a thriller film named as Drishyam.
Hello everyone, my name is Neha Shah from School of Journalism in Mass and Communication, KR Mangalam University. And I am giving my review on the movie Drishyam, which was released in the year 2015. It's a promising murder mystery suspense thriller. A genuine gentleman identity is not to be successful icon, but how he effectively protects his family due to the turbulent environment. Sometimes, due to too much being engaged in professional development, we often forget our personal life obligations. Career achievement unfortunately proved futile in some unavoidable circumstance. This movie revolves around an ordinary person, Vijay, role played by Ajay Devgan, and his family who encountered a college going boy, son of police Meera, role played by Tabu, who suspected them behind her early offspring abductions. Throughout the movie, you will see how Vijay saves his family from these situations and finally manages to prove his innocence in the eye of law and also expressed his valuable viewpoint in front of Meera. The main theme of this movie is visual and deceptive, and also the significance of the drishyam. What we see is not always right. Sometimes we see what we want to see, and sometimes see what others want to show us. Thriller and mysterious story of Vijay Salgonkar, who can do anything for his family and go extent at any level. Unfortunately, his wife and his elder daughter killed a boy named Sen, who was blackmailing them by making an MMS of Anju. The family are one of the surveillance of police because Gaitonde insisted Vijay is at fault. But family proved brave enough. The story is all about some truth should remain buried because situations is at fault, not the character. a powerful age of the Sikh thriller with outstanding performance by Ajay Devgan and Tabu. The film easily and totally dragged you in its trail. Very good story, script, screen, dialogues, and direction. You don't see the film with such unique storylines often. Ajay Devgan, truly a master player. You can't think of anything else for his role in this Hindi version. Editing enhances the film's value. Thank you.
Our next participant is Prachi Bharti, who has reviewed an action movie called Black Friday.
Hello, my name is Prachi Bharti and I'm going to be reviewing The Black Friday. Black Friday is a cult movie about the horrifyingly raw work of angry humanism. It's a fiercely dark and frightening movie which is directed by Anurag Kashyap, and his film is one of the most ingeniously executed movies of the current times. A great screenplay performed by outstanding actors such as K.K. Menon and Aditya Srivastav. The use of colors on the screen and the strong light effects to create a dark theme, the direction, the script, and the background score work very well together to produce this rare art piece. The movie also shows similarities with Hussein Zaidi's book of the similar name, Black Friday. The story presents the hard facts about the notorious Bombay blasts in 1993, after which Bombay was renamed as Mumbai in 1996. The movie opens with a bomb blast, and after that, the movie continues with the intricate investigation that took place. The film is different from mainstream cinema and provides a new dimension to the real life cinema with real names, real events, and the usage of real life news footage. Definitely, it takes nerve to open the name of some of the well known, powerful people of underworld and Indian politicians, to put it bluntly, and the filmmaker shows that fearlessness very well in his work. The story doesn't point any finger at any specific individual, group, or community and holds responsible for what it still counts as one of the biggest tragedy in the Indian crime industry. The movie tries to point out how some clever politicians feed over and even make their business out of nations' religious sentiments and at the cost of the lives of a commoner, who are common in every sense of it. The terror of attacks and explosions, the riots suck in and exploit not just one community but the whole nation's humanity. The movie is unique storytelling in its own sense that it shows the perspective and his life of a terrorist after the bomb blast, and now he faces all the pressures. There's an immense pressure faced by the investigator to search and arrest the terrorist, but also take care that no commoner gets any harm in the way. There was mentioned in the end credits that the movie is based on a book, Black Friday, by some Muslim author. I had a doubt that it was going to be a biased view on the representation of the enormity of Mumbai cops on the innocent Muslim community member during the process of investigations. Well, it's a shameful thought, but it's natural considering India.
Our next entry is from Riya Garg, who has reviewed a comedy drama, yet an elegant film named as Chichore.
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम है प्राची भटनागर और आज मैं करने वाली हूँ एक खूबसूरत सी मूवी को रिव्यू जिसका नाम है नमस्ते लंदन, जिसे लिखा है सुरेश नेर और रितेश शाह ने, जिसे डायरेक्ट किया है विपुल अमृतलाल ने, जो कि रिलीज़ हुई थी 2007 में। ये बहुत ही ब्लॉकबस्टर हिट मूवी थी और जो कि कहानी है एक लड़के अर्जुन की, जिसे प्ले किया है अक्षय कुमार ने इस कैरेक्टर को, और जसमीत की, जिस कैरेक्टर को प्ले किया है कैटरीना कैफ ने। ये कहानी एक बहुत ही प्यारा मैसेज हमें कन्वे करती है कि अगर आपका प्यार सच्चा है, अगर आपको अपने प्यार पे भरोसा है, अगर आपको पता है आपका प्यार सच्चा है, तो चीज़ें आप तक लौट कर ज़रूर आएंगी, आपका प्यार आप तक लौट के ज़रूर आएगा। चाहे चीज़ें कितनी ही इम्पॉसिबल लगें, चाहे चीज़ें कितनी ही लगें कि नहीं हो सकती हैं, पर वो भी यकीनन सच होंगी अगर आपका प्यार सच्चा है और अगर आप में हिम्मत है उसका इंतज़ार करने की। तो let me give you a little brief about the story so it will be easy for you to understand the message. जो जसमीत होती है, जसमीत के फादर इंडिया में पैदा हुए होते हैं, इंडिया में बॉटअप हुए होते हैं, पर वो लंदन में रह रहे होते हैं अपनी वाइफ और अपनी बेटी के साथ, बट वो इंडिया से उनको बहुत ही अलग प्यार होता है क्योंकि वो इंडिया में ही पैदा वैदा हुए थे। वहीं अर्जुन जो होता है वो प्रॉपर गांव का पंजाबी लड़का होता है एंड इज़ अ रियली लाइट हार्टेड ह्यूमरस गाय, चश्मेटिक स्माइल, तो जो अर्जुन के फादर होते हैं वो जसमीत के फादर के फ्रेंड होते हैं, चाइल्डहुड फ्रेंड्स होते हैं। और जसमीत के फादर डिसाइड करते हैं कि वो अपनी फैमिली को इंडिया के टूर पे लेके जाएंगे क्योंकि जसमीत बिल्कुल भी इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होती है इंडिया में। और जसमीत के फादर हमेशा से चाहते होते हैं कि जसमीत की शादी किसी इंडियन लड़के से हो, तो वो उसको इंडिया लेके जाते हैं एंड ज़बरदस्ती उसकी अर्जुन से शादी करवा देते हैं। बट लंदन में जाके जो जसमीत है वो चेंज हो जाती है एंड शी डिसाइड्स कि वो अर्जुन के साथ नहीं रहने वाली क्योंकि वो पहले से ही किसी चार्ली के साथ उसका अफेयर होता है, राइट। तो वो अर्जुन से बोल देती है कि वो उसके साथ नहीं रह सकती क्योंकि वो चार्ली से प्यार करती है और अपने फादर को ये रीज़न देती है कि क्योंकि आपने मेरे साथ ज़बरदस्ती की, दैट्स वाई मैंने वहाँ वो शादी कर ली, बट लंदन में इसे कोई भी वैलिड नहीं मानेगा। यही ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट होता है जब अर्जुन का जो है दिल टूटता है। बट इंस्टेड ऑफ बीइंग एंग्री, पंजाब वापस लौट जाने के अलावा, गुस्सा होने के अलावा और भी बहुत चीज़ों के अलावा, ये सब छोड़ के अर्जुन डिसाइड करता है जसलीन से सच्चा प्यार करने का। वो डिसाइड करता है कि वो उसका इंतज़ार करेगा, वो उसका इंतज़ार तब तक करेगा जब तक वो चार्ली से शादी नहीं कर ली थी। और ये बात वो जसमीत को भी बोलता है और उसके फादर को भी बोलता है और एंडलेस फेथ रखता है और उसका वेट करता है। ऑल्दो ऐसे बहुत सारे ऐसे ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट्स आते हैं जहाँ पे वो टूट सकता था और पंजाब लौट सकता था, हिम्मत हार सकता था, बट वो एंड तक जसमीत की शादी तक वो हिम्मत नहीं हारता। वहीं उसे उम्मीद होती है कि जसमीत उसका प्यार ज़रूर समझेगी और वो समझ पाएगी कि उसकी क्या फीलिंग्स हैं और उसको प्यार को पहचान के उस तक वापस ज़रूर आएगी। वहीं जसमीत ट्राई कर रही होती है कि चार्ली के साथ ही एंगेज रहे, पर स्लोली उसे अर्जुन का प्यार दिखने लगता है और जसमीत उसकी तरफ झुकाव होने लगता है जसमीत का। ऑल्दो जसमीत उस तक लौट कर आती है आखिरी क्षण में जब वो चार्ली से शादी कर ही रही होती है और उसी टाइम वो उसको रियलाइज़ होता है कि नहीं, वो तो अर्जुन से प्यार करती है और वो अर्जुन के पास वापस लौट जाती है। ये कहानी पूरी होती है और इवन चीज़ें कितनी इम्पॉसिबल लगती है, कहाँ वो मॉडर्न लड़की लंदन की थी और कहाँ वो पंजाब का लड़का था, देसी लड़का था, बिल्कुल मैच नहीं था, बट फिर भी उनका प्यार पूरा होता है क्योंकि अक्षय कुमार को अपने प्यार पर भरोसा होता है और कैटरीना कैफ और जसमीत उसका प्यार देख पाती है, उसके प्यार को समझ पाती है, उसके प्यार की वैल्यू कर पाती है और वे एंड में साथ हो जाते हैं। तो इट्स अ रियली ब्यूटीफुल मूवी गाइस एंड यू शुड डेफिनेटली वॉच इट।
Our next entry is from Riya Gar, who has reviewed a comedy drama yet an elegant film, Chichore.
Hello everyone, so today I am going to give you a review on a movie Chichore. So many films can change human perception and outlook for life. For me, Chichore is such a movie. It is the most actual movie of modern cinematography because it touches the most disturbing topic for students that really should be considered. Back to college time friendship and countless memories, Chichore takes you on a nostalgic ride. Anirudh, the role played by Sushant Singh Rajput, lovingly called Annie by his college buddies, and Maya, the role played by Shraddha Kapoor, is a divorced couple and find themselves in a desperate situation where their teenage son Raghav attempts suicide. The doctor indicates that he is in a critical situation and not just physically but mentally too. So Anirudh believes that the only way to bring him out of the darkness is to take him back to the memory lane of their college days from engineering college, a place where he not just fell in love with Maya but also forged his friendship with many of his friends. As film stars, director Nidesh Tiwari creates an authentic world that takes us to the nostalgic world where there's a journey that is filled with a lot of emotions and memories, from being losers to choosers. And there's a lot of comedy, sporting championship, and some hard realities that is packed with romance and a lot of memories. And when it comes back to present life, where the group had an unlikely reunion, it is heartwarming to witness that their friendship has survived a time of test and distance. So I think it's a relevant film with an important message on inherent attitude towards academic success and failure that will connect with the many youngsters and parents of today. It tells you that the journey is far more important than the destination, and losing just gives you another lesson and life journey. So stress and overwhelming anxiety is a hard reality for many young students in India, by which many youngsters are not able to find their real talent. So it's a must-watch movie with your college friends, with your family members, even if with your classmates. So Chichori is a relatable and relevant movie that gives us a very deep message, and only gives us a very deep message that that result doesn't decide our future, but our efforts do. So overall, it's a great movie with a mix of terms of laughs and college life. So it's a well worth a few hours of your time.
Finally, our alumni judge, Mr. Suprabhash Yadav, has joined us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, and sorry for being late.
It's okay, sir. The next participant is Sufia Mirza, who has reviewed a biographical war action film called Sher Shah.
My name is Sufia Mirza and I'm going to be reviewing the movie named Sher Shah, where Siddharth Malhotra masterfully reenacts the powerful and the colourful life of Vikram Batra, starring Siddharth Malhotra, Kiara Advani, Sahil Ved and Shiv Pandit. Directed by Vikram Batra. And my ratings for this movie is 4 stars. Sher Shah is a war movie about a highly decorated army man, Captain Vikram Batra, who laid his life for the country. If Captain Vikram Batra would have been invented by a Bollywood writer, by any Bollywood writer for that matter, we might have dismissed him as too good to be true. A story of an uncommon man who died at the age of 24 in a combat and was posthumously awarded the Paramveer Chakra. In my opinion, the writers got very little creative with the script and they stuck to the facts, which proved to be and also provided to be a very good move. The story did not have the Bollywood unnecessary masala, but the reality of the hero, whom we all know today, the character built up was beautifully done. Movie portrayed a different side of Captain Vikram Batra's personality, which made us love him more. The Kargil War took place at an altitude of 17,000 feet. The Sher Shah crew doesn't make it to those heights, but much of film shot on location and rigorous work shows in combat sequences. The cinematography department, held by Kamaljeet Negi, has done an extremely good job. Taking the actor's performance into consideration, Siddharth Malhotra, as an army man, is faithful to both love stories. This is one of the films he will surely be remembered for. This is one of the best patriotic movies made, and one of the scenes that actually make it one. या तो तिरंगा लहरा कर आऊँगा या तो उसमें लिपट कर आऊँगा लेकिन आऊँगा ज़रूर is a dialogue from the movie which presents the heart of the soldier, his sacrifice, all his love for the country above all. The ones with the war backdrop were my special favorite because I truly felt the whole scene come alive around me while watching it. Kiara Advani shines in her role. She portrays the character of Captain Vikram Batra's girlfriend, and I must say I'm quite impressed with her accent, particularly in Punjabi speaking skills she has shown in the film. All the supporting characters, from work best friend to home best friend, parents, sisters, plus the desire to excel at his job, all of this surrounds Vikram, enabling him in more than one ways to become the Captain Vikram Batra. Director has well presented the movie without unnecessary gruesome of patriotism. He made it plain, simple, realistic, and VFX is also good. The background music is great. Music adds more effects to the emotional scene. Complete cast has put up a great film together. And I also appreciate all the cast members. Team of Sher Shah really done a great job, and I must say one should watch.
Next up we have is Suramya Kaushik, who has reviewed a horror film, Tumbad.
Hello everyone, I am Suramya Kaushik and you're watching the Blockbuster Review. In today's episode, we'll be talking about 2018's Tumbad. Rahi Anil Barve and Adesh Prasad's blockbuster Tumbad is set in Tumbad in Maharashtra. The whole movie pans out from 1918 precisely to 1947 when India got independent. Therefore, there is a subtle hint of colonization in the movie because it is set when British were ruling India. The whole movie starts with the idea of these two kids trying to explore what is so horrific in their mansion in Tumbad. When the eldest son gets to know what is so horrific and suspicious in the house, then the mother takes him to the city. But the main story begins after 15 years when we get introduced to the protagonist, Vinayak Rao. Vinayak Rao in his childhood knew that there is hidden treasure in their house, but his greed couldn't stop him from coming here. Although his mother told that never come back to Tumbad, but he comes back to Tumbad again and again in the search to quench his thirst of greed. Now, when I'm talking quench his thirst, this is because Pankaj Kumar has done amazing job in cinematography. The movie comes back and forth with the idea of incessant rains. It talks and gives the idea of gloomy and darkness in the movie. But also, the movie never fails to creep you out with such creatures. The movie talks about that it is based on a mythological theme. This is the scene where Pankaj Kumar and Rahi Anil Barve tries to visually and through words explain that what is the theme. The goddess of prosperity is the central theme who gives birth to Hastar, who is a very greedy child and acquires all the gold of goddess of prosperity and gets cursed of not being remembered in the history of gods. But there is a trick into it. The trick is that if anybody wants to awaken Hastar, he has to give grain to Hastar in order to get all the gold. And that's what brings to the center point of greed Hastar and Vinayak Rao in the movie. This is Hastar. The movie again and again reiterates the dialogue, Soja varna Hastar aa jayega, is the catch point of the movie. In this movie, the Hastar character is so creepy that you will get so horrific by the visuals shot inside the womb of goddess of prosperity. So the blood, luminous, the darkness is just the right way to express horror in this movie. When we talk about gloominess, the darkness, we can't forget what the greed means in this movie. The greed here is not only about money. The movie talks about greed of power, women, the society, the status. Because this movie is shot in the British period, therefore status, power and the idea of being rich is really very important. Therefore, the greed is the whole centric point of the movie, which talks about that it is not only money. When a man thinks of greed, when a man becomes greedy, it is so monstrous. With that, Pankaj Kumar again comes into the picture because he has done cinematically amazing work. But along with him, Anand Rai has done great work in creative direction. About the characters, Shoham has done great job as the protagonist in the role of Vinayak Roy. Also, Mohammad Samad as the child actor has done phenomenally well. Also, the movie never fails to come out with a blend of fear and folklore, which is again surrounded on the central figure of greed. Therefore, the movie Tumbad talks about one thing which is so constant beyond the ages, beyond the time, which is the world has enough for everyone's need, but not everyone's greed. With that, I'll give this movie 4 stars. If you have not watched this movie, go and watch it. It's worth watching.
Our next participant is Vaishnavi Nair, who has reviewed a comedy drama film named as Padman.
Hello everyone, today I am here to give you a review on film Padman. Padman starts off slowly and drags on for a while before gaining up the speed. The film on other hand pushes you to analyze the larger picture, from women being ignored during their time of month to young girl avoiding schools to avoid embarrassment. The film confronts our society emphasis on placing shame on periods. The much anticipated film from R. Balki is based on the story of Arunachalan Muruganathan, subtitled India's Menstrual Man, for transforming the lives of unprivileged women who had to use old rags, sands and leaves during their periods. Akshay plays Lakshmikant Chauhan, a mechanic who dropped out school. He had recently married and is totally in love with his wife Gayatri, played by Radhika Apte. The film follows Lakshmi's battle with society, his family, and even his wife, as well as his own financial and educational constraint to ensure that women being using hygienic alternative when they menstruate. Lakshmi tries to claim that one of his argument with Gayatri, he tried to convince his three sisters and mother to use sanitary pads instead of dirty clothes, but they didn't understand what he was trying to achieve. No, this man's sensitivity isn't limited to his wife. He wants every woman to be able to live her life as fully as man, rather than being confined to a session of the house for a few days every month. Sonam comes in late in the narrative, but she adds a lot of charm to every frame she is in. Perhaps to balance Radhika's ignorant and self-destructive wife, her character is beautifully imprinted. Sonam plays a privileged South Delhi girl who fits into the role perfectly. Sonam's character not only assists Lakshmi with marketing and finance but also shares a modern and laid back lifestyle mantra. While Radhika transforms into an ignorant, blindfolded woman who believes औरतों के लिए सबसे बड़ी बीमारी है शर्म, Akshay gives it his all to play superhero. Despite some melodrama and scenes that drag on too long, Padman is an entertaining film that delivers a powerful message: the importance of women's menstrual health.
Thank you, technical team, for presenting the entries. We would now like to hear what our judges think about the work presented by the participants. I would also like to remind the judges to not declare the results, as it will be reserved for the valedictory session of Ritika 2021, which will be held today at 5 p.m. I would now like to request our judge, Ms. Deepa Zutshi, to share her comments on the entries.
Chetna, as far as the entries, they were interesting. All those who reviewed, I'll talk about, I'll first talk about the books, the participants that reviewed the books. We had two participants, and both participants did a fairly good job. But then I have one concern is my concern about that those reviews were they talked about the story, they talked about the main protagonist, the characters, but they didn't talk about the writing style, and they did not make a comparison of such kind of genre with the other authors. This is one of the important points. If you're writing a book review, this is one of the important points, and I think kids, participants, and everybody who does that, who's interested in, they should keep this thing in mind. Next, I'll talk about, I'm talking in general about the participants who reviewed the movie. I think most of them talked about movies that have already released. So when you talk about a movie that has already been released, so it's expected that everybody knows the story. So they focused on story more rather than the technical aspects of it. Like very few people talked about the cinematography. Very few people talked about the screenplay, the dialogues. It was more of reading than a review. So I want all the participants to keep these things in mind in future if they wish to review a movie. Please talk about the technical aspects, because acting, acting is important. The director is important. Of course, they are important. But then talk about what was the cinematography like? How was the camera work? Little technical details. If they add, this would make their review perfect. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request Ms. Sukriti Arora to share her comments.
Thank you, Chetna, and thank you to the team for choosing me as their impromptu person to judge this competition. So participants, I also have some general reviews to mention apart from what Deepa ma'am has already said. I also felt the same thing about the book reviews, that there was no talk about the language, how the language is. There is too much of focus on what the story is instead of talking about how the story has been presented. In some cases, that has been true for the movie reviews as well. Now, my comments are obviously, I have given individual comments as well, but I'm going to not reveal the result and say, make general observations here. First thing is that whenever you write any kind of review, whether book or movie, please remember you're not supposed to reveal the key details of the plot. You're not supposed to mention the climax or even any particular high point of the movie, which is supposed to be unexpected for the viewers. I will not name the examples, but there are students who have done that. There are participants who have done that. They have revealed key details about the movie, which were supposed to come as a shock to the viewer. Whenever you write any movie review or any book review, you're supposed to intrigue the person to watch it or to read it, whichever is the case. You're not supposed to give them the whole detail so that, okay, now what? Now I know what is there in that movie. So what can I do with your review? What is the use of your review after that? So that you have to keep in mind. That is a key detail. It's actually a cardinal sin if you talk about writing reviews. Okay, other than that, I liked the fact that some of you presented in your movies, there was a lot of creativity shown in your videos. That was wonderful. And I applaud you for that. Additionally, there were reviews where I felt that the students were simply reading it out. Yes, you can have your script at your end. You're not supposed to, I mean, we don't expect you to learn everything by heart and say it on screen. But even when you have a script in front of you, you are supposed to speak it out in a manner that feels that you've actually read this book or you've seen this movie. I felt in some cases that the points were just picked up randomly and placed like without an understanding of what screenplay is, without understanding of what costume work has gone into it, or what other camera work, etc., etc. That should have been reflected in your presentation, that you actually know about these things instead of reading it out from some paper. I can also download a review right away and I can read it out. At least do it in a manner that showcases that you know something about it. And I noticed that some of you were very organized in your flow. You start with talking about the basic of the movie, that what the movie is, who's the director, you give the basic details. And that is when, with the plot, you give other points, intertwine them into your script. And at the end, give your ratings. Don't give your ratings right away. So whoever has done that, please rectify it for the future, that ratings and your suggestions for whether this movie or book is supposed to be picked up or not should come at last. That should be the concluding remark and not your opening remark. There are a lot of other comments, but I think I'm going to leave more space for Suprabhash to continue from here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Mr. Suprabhash Yadav to share his opinions about the entry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I do totally agree with Sukriti ma'am and Deepa Joshi ma'am. Actually, जो भी points इन लोगों ने बोले वो मैं totally agree करता हूँ. और एक चीज जो मुझे लगता है मुझे ऐड करना चाहिए अपने पर्सनल एंड से, वो ये है कि एक तो जो मैम ने बताया कि आपके पास टेक्निकलिटीज, जो भी मूवी रिव्यूज में आपके लिए जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट होता है वो टेक्निकल पॉइंट्स, कि मूवी में क्या सिनेमेटोग्राफी रही है, क्या कलर्स यूज करे गए हैं, किस तरह की म्यूजिक को इस्तेमाल किया गया. एंड मुझे लगता है जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट होता है कि आपने मूवी रिव्यू जो किया है वो होता है आपका इंटरप्रिटेशन. यही एक चीज है जो एक डायरेक्टर को दूसरे डायरेक्टर से डिफर करती है, एक फिल्म को दूसरे फिल्म से डिफरेंशिएट करती है. मुझे लगता है आप इंटरप्रिटेशन है वो आपका ओपिनियन. तो जितने भी लोगों ने मूवी रिव्यू करी वो बेसिकली बॉलीवुड से थी. और मुझे लगता है कि जब भी आप बॉलीवुड मूवीज को जब आप देखते हो तो डायरेक्टर के व्यू को देखना बहुत जरूरी है, कौन सा डायरेक्टर क्या दिखाना चाहता है. जैसे अभी जो एक बहुत अच्छे रेवोल्यूशनरी डायरेक्टर जिनको कहा जाता है वो है अनुराग कश्यप. जितने भी अदर डायरेक्टर्स हैं उनके लिए सॉन्ग इज अ पार्ट ऑफ अ मूवी, and for Anurag Kashyap, he uses his song as a tool for conveying his story in the movie. जैसे कि उनकी बहुत एक फेमस मूवी रही है गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर, मुझे लगता है सभी लोगों ने देखी होगी। तो एक मैं उनके पर्टिकुलर गाने की बात करूंगा, वो है छीछा लेकर, जिसका कोई मतलब नहीं, उस गाने का अपना पर्टिकुलर कोई मतलब नहीं है, लेकिन उस गाने को उन्होंने एक चेजिंग सीन में यूज किया है, जिससे एक पर्टिकुलर एनवायरनमेंट में कि अभी इस फिल्म का क्या मूड है, किस कैरेक्टर को अभी चेस किया जा रहा है, या किस कैरेक्टर को अभी स्टैब्लिश किया जा रहा है, वो एक पूरी मूवी में एक छोटे से चंक एक गाने से उन्होंने पूरी मूवी में स्टैब्लिश कर और एक टूल की तरह यूज करा। अब जैसे जब फैजल खान की एंट्री होती है गैंग्स ऑफ वासेपुर 2, जब वो प्रपोज करने के लिए जा रहे हो, तो उस टाइम एक गाना होता है सैया काला रे। तो उस टाइम पे ये चीज गाने के थ्रू बताई गई है कि फैजल खान इज अ गैंगस्टर हु इज इंस्पायर्ड फ्रॉम मूवीज। वो कोई इस तरह का गैंगस्टर नहीं जो मेंटली गैंगस्टर बनना चाहता था, वो जो गैंगस्टर बना वो मूवीज से बहुत ज्यादा इंस्पायर्ड। इस तरह के एक्शंस, इस तरह की सिनेमेटोग्राफी उन्होंने यूज करी। गुलाल में भी हमने उन्हें देखा है, आरंभ है प्रचंड। जब मैं इसकी डिटेल्स पढ़ रहा था तो उस टाइम पीयूष मिश्रा ने बोला था कि इस गाने को यूज करना बहुत ही मुश्किल है, पूरा गाना लंबा चंक। उन्होंने ये चीज करी और एक रेवोल्यूशनरी चीज को उन्होंने, जो भी रेवोल्यूशनरी सिनेरियो था, उसको उन लोगों ने यूज करा। तो मुझे लगता है कि जब आप फिल्म देखते हो तो एक डायरेक्टर के बारे में कि उसका क्या व्यू है और वो दूसरे डायरेक्टर से क्या अलग दिखाना चाहता है, मुझे लगता है ये देखना मुझे आज के टाइम में बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि यही फिर आपको और मूवीज में इंटरेस्ट और उसके जॉनर्स और टाइप में फिर डिफरेंशिएट करने में आपकी हेल्प करे। तो मुझे लगता है ये पॉइंट मुझे ऐड ऑन करना चाहिए। और थैंक यू सो मच मुझे इनवाइट करने के लिए। सो सॉरी थोड़ा सा लेट हो गया।
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Susmita Bala, Head DME Media School, to say her concluding remarks.
Thank you, Chetna. Thank you everyone present here. क्योंकि अभी इतना अच्छा सेशन हुआ, दीपा ने, सुकृति ने, सुप्रभाष ने, सभी ने अपने अपने कमेंट्स अभी दे दिए हैं। मैं भी सिर्फ इतना ही कहना चाह रही थी कि जब भी हम फिल्म रिव्यू करते हैं या बुक रिव्यू करते हैं तो हमें उसको बहुत माइन्यूटली ऑब्जर्व करना पड़ता है। सो आप हर एंगल से और हर पर्सपेक्टिव से, हर एस्पेक्ट को देख के काम करते हैं तो आप यू कैन जस्टिस विद दैट। हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट क्या होता है कि जब आप सारी चीजों को बहुत बारीकी से देखते हैं तो आप बहुत अच्छा रिव्यू कर पाते हैं। यहाँ कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ने, जो मैंने देखा कि उसमें कुछ प्रेजेंटेशन भी किया, कुछ स्टोरी टेलिंग स्टाइल भी लिया, तो आपको किस तरह से प्रेजेंट करना है, हमें बुक रिव्यू को प्रेजेंट कैसे करना है, उसका प्रेजेंटेशन क्या होना चाहिए, हमारी परफॉर्मेंस है यहाँ या सिर्फ प्रेजेंटेशन है, हाउ टू प्रोड्यूस आवर प्रोग्राम, आवर प्रेजेंटेशन, ये भी इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है। क्योंकि आप बुक रिव्यू डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट है एंड फिल्म रिव्यू आप डिफरेंट तरीके से करते हैं, लेकिन रिव्यू कर रहे हैं, रिव्यूइंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट, क्योंकि एज ए रिव्यूअर आपकी नजर बहुत क्रिटिकल होती है। क्रिटिक की तरह से आप उसको ऑब्जर्व करते हैं और देखते हैं और उसके अच्छे या बुरे दोनों पहलुओं को माइन्यूटली देखते हैं, तब प्रेजेंट कर पाते हैं। ये उसमें जरूरी नहीं है कि वो हमें कौन सा स्टार देने वाली है या हमें किस तरह का रिजल्ट देने वाली है, उसको कितने लोग पढ़ेंगे या कितने लोग फिल्मों को देखेंगे हमारे रिव्यू करने के बाद, लेकिन हमें जस्टिस करने के लिए इन सारी चीजों को देखना चाहिए। तो जो आपका ऑडियंस है वो उस तरह से, उस निगाह से देख पाएगी, उस तरह से समझ पाएगी कि उनके लिए क्या मुफीद है, क्या उनको देखना है, किस तरह से उनको उस पर काम करना है। सो ऑल द बेस्ट ऑल द पार्टिसिपेंट्स जिन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया। रिजल्ट ऑब्वियसली आपके रिजल्ट जो भी जजेस हैं वो अनाउंस करेंगे और वो आपको शाम को पता चलेगा वैलिडिटी फंक्शन में। जब भी आप काम करें, दिल से करें, दिमाग से करें और अच्छा करें। सो थैंक यू, थैंक्स टू ऑल पार्टिसिपेंट जो भी डीएमई के हैं, डीएमई से बाहर के बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने भी प्रेजेंटेशन किया, परफॉर्मेंस दी। सो थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू।
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would also like to request Miss Shruti VS, Assistant Professor, DME Media School, and the Faculty Coordinator to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to thank the management of DME, including Vice Chairman Mr. Raman Sani, Justice Bhavar Singh, Director General, and Dr. Ravikant Swami, the Director of Delhi Metropolitan Education. I'm also thankful to Dr. Amrish Saxena, Dean DME Media School, Dr. Sushmita Bala, Head DME Media School. Particularly thank our distinguished guest, Ms. Deepa Ma'am, Mr. Suprabhansh Yadav, and also Ms. Sukriti Arora for taking their time out to judge and give their detailed comments to our participants. I also would like to thank our student coordinators for this competition, Anchor Chetna Garg, coordinators Nandini, Ekta, Prashita, the technical support by Ashish, Vani, Medha, and Shavik Mandal. I would also like my colleagues, Mr. Yogesh Sharma, Mr. Sumantra Sartidas, Mr. Sachin Nair for their technical support, Mr. Vishal Sahai, Ms. Sukriti Arora, Mr. Mohammad Kamil for managing media coverage. Also, I would like to thank Ms. Manmeet Kaur, Mr. Pramod Pandey, and Mr. Mohit Kishorwats for their competition. Last but not the least, I thank my colleagues for faculty conveners for Vitika 2021, Dr. Manasi Maheshwari, Dr. Krishna Pandey, Dr. Tina Bora, and Ms. Mudita Raj. Last but not the least, thank you to all the audience and the participants who have enriched this competition and event and gave a lot of to talk about, to discuss, and make this up. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. With this, we come to the conclusion of this session. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have our next event, that is Media Debate Competition, today at 3 p.m. Have a good day, everyone.